One of the things that I think is most beautiful about the New Testament is that the disciples, they never seem to get it. They never seem to totally understand who Jesus is and what Jesus is doing. And they think they kind of get it and they get glimpses of it, but they don't totally understand. And Peter probably more than most. Whenever Jesus is sitting at table with his disciples, he makes this comment that one of you will deny me and one of you will betray me. And Peter is real adamant about the fact that, even if I have to die with you, I'm not gonna deny you. And sure enough, if you go and you keep reading on in the Gospels, as Jesus is arrested and he's taken away, that Peter's there in the temple courts, and all these different people come up to him and they say, aren't you that guy? Aren't you the one that was with him? And Peter again and again and again denies Jesus. I think a lot of people wonder about the nature of God and who God is and what God is. And the best definition of God I've ever received is that God is the culmination of every potential past, every potential present, and every potential future that has ever existed, exists now, or will exist combined. So God is the very essence of different changing seasons of life, some that bring newness and birth and resurrection, and some that bring loss and grief and death. But that in the middle of whatever season it is, that God is still there. Our job is in the middle of each one of those seasons to recognize that we still show up. Even when we don't believe, even sometimes when we're denying it, even when it doesn't make any sense to us, that we show up to see if God is there. And the beautiful thing for me is that time and time and time again, that God continues to be there. And it may not look exactly like what you think God would look like, and it may not feel like what God should feel like, but it's there. There's a lot of things that have changed in the last few weeks, I think, for all of us. There's things that we have to get accustomed to and do differently, and I've been really struggling a lot with that. Just the way that we get food and the way that we eat groceries, the way that we work, the way that our kids go to school, all of those things they're changing and they're different and they're hard to adapt and adjust to. But earlier this week, I was sitting at home and I couldn't help but notice. My son has downloaded Pokemon Go again, and so he's out in the streets, and every day he wakes up early in the morning to go catch Pokemon and go battle different gyms. And he's the type of kid that normally wouldn't go outside a lot. And my daughter, she's real artistic, and she loves the opportunity to just express that and whatever it looks like. And so we got her some sidewalk chalk, and she's been in the front driveway and in the back patio, and just every day just draws something new and something beautiful. And then sure enough, after a day or two, the rain will come and it washes everything away. And then once it dries out again, she's back out there and she's just coloring over and over and over again. And I began to realize, I think, that we wouldn't have those experiences if it wasn't what we're going through now. I think that every moment in our life where there is death, every moment in our life where we have to give something up, that we feel like it's painful and it's hurting and it's challenging and we don't want to do it, but again and again, God shows up in the middle of all of that. When the women first went to the tomb early in the morning, the angel that appears to them makes this statement to the women: "Why are you here? Christ is not here, he's risen. So now go and tell the disciples and Peter." And I'm always caught off guard by that statement, because it's this acknowledgement of the angel of the Lord that says, go and find the disciples and go find Peter. Because the angel is aware that Peter denied. The angel is aware that Peter ran away. The angel is aware that Peter is someplace totally different than where he's supposed to be. And it's a beautiful reminder for me that wherever it is that you wind up, wherever it is that you have found yourself today, and maybe it's a place that makes sense to you, and maybe it's a place that doesn't, but that the angel of the Lord is calling you out by name, that God is desperately seeking after you to offer grace and mercy and forgiveness and love for whatever it is that you're going through. Because the beautiful message of the resurrection is that is that when we show up to the places where we're willing to say, you know what, I'm going to put this thing to bed. I'm going to put this thing to death. I'm going to stop letting this thing hold on to me, that when we're willing to finally do that, that God shows up in the middle of it and creates something new, creates something beautiful, creates something far more magical than we could ever have imagined. And I have to believe that God is still moving. God is still breathing. God is still creating. God is still existing, even in the middle of a world that feels like it's not. I love the message of Easter Sunday because at its core, that's what it is. That your life, your circumstances, your world cannot be so wrecked that it is irredeemable, but that the God of this universe is reconciling and creating and recreating all of the world back into itself again in a beautiful way that we can't understand or imagine. But that in all of it, in every season of life, that God is still there in all that we do.
This is my prayer in the desert, when all that's within me feels dry. This is my prayer in my hunger and need. My God is the God who provides. This is my prayer in the fire, in weakness or trial or pain. There is a faith proved of more worth than gold, so refine me, Lord, through the flame. I will bring praise, I will bring praise, no weapon formed against me shall remain. I will rejoice, I will declare, God is my victory and He is here. This is my prayer in the battle, when triumph is still on its way. I am a conqueror and co-heir with Christ, so firm on His promise I'll stand. I will bring praise, I will bring praise, no weapon formed against me shall remain. I will rejoice, I will declare, God is my victory and He is here. All of my life, in every season, you are still God. I have a reason to sing. I have a reason to worship. All of my life, in every season, you are still God. I have a reason to sing. I have a reason to worship. All of my life, in every season, you are still God. I have a reason to sing. I have a reason to worship. All of my life, in every season, you are still God. I have a reason to sing. I have a reason to worship. I will bring praise, I will bring praise, no weapon formed against me shall remain. I will rejoice, I will declare, God is my victory and He is here. This is my prayer in the harvest, when favor and providence flow. I know I'm built to be emptied again. The seed I've received